All right, guys, so we're going to talk about trade lines. There's three trade lines that we want to address. Okay, primary trade lines, AU trade lines, and other trade lines. All right, so primary trade line is pretty much an account that belongs to you. So this is under your name. You didn't buy it from anybody else. This is a line that's reporting only to your name and that you own, you're responsible for. Okay, these are just some of the examples. My Jewelers Club, OX Publishing, Self, and Rent Reporters, and there's a bunch more that I'm going to give you. There should be a list down below. And so My Jewelers Club is pretty much like a company that would give you a $5,000 trade line to report on your credit. They guarantee approve you as long as you buy into the membership. Okay, so same thing with OX Publishing. Self is pretty much putting money in like a saving account, and then they report a line for you to your credit report. And then Rent Reporters, you can actually report your rent. And I'm actually going to show you a little trick with Rent Reporters. I'm going to show you how to report your rent history and add that history to your credit. But I'm also going to show you how to multiply that by like 3-4 times. So that's pretty cool. And then we have AU trade lines. AU trade line stands for authorized user. Okay, so for example, let's say that I have a credit card with $7,000 limit. It's 4 years old. Utilization is always under 15%, and I paid off every month. Okay, that's a good trade line. Typically, that type of trade line will cost anywhere between $300 to $500, depending on where you get it from and who the bank is. So this is what we call AUs, and so I can add you as an authorized user to that credit card. You won't get any, you won't have access to use any of the credit. The only thing you're buying is a history that I have with my credit card onto your credit report. That's it. And so why people use this is to get approved for certain things, for maybe some credit cards, or get approved for a car or a house, whatever the case is. This is going to help you not only add history, add age, but it's also going to boost up your credit. So this is typically what people use AUs, and you can add as many as you like. Typically, a bank likes to see a mix of AUs and some primary accounts, so you kind of want to have a mix of those in there. And then you can buy trade lines from different websites. However, I just always say you have to be careful where you're getting your AUs from, because you never know who the source is, who the owner is. And the best AU that you can buy is if you know somebody that that you trust, that they're on time, they're making the payments, because if they miss a payment or anything negative, it's going to report to your credit. So you just want to be careful where you're buying your AUs. You can always just ask a family member if they have a good credit card, as long as they have a good limit, some age in there, they're always under the 30% rule, and they always been paying on time, then that's you want to ask them, can you add me as an authorized user? I won't have access to your credit card or anything like that. I just need the history to report on my credit to help me out. So if you can do that, it's great. If not, I'm going to give you some options of where you can get some wholesale trade lines of some AUs. And then other trade lines. So this one's pretty cool. You can actually buy people's debt. What I mean by that is you can actually call up collection agencies and say, for example, hey, I want to buy some debt from you. And so there's obviously a process to everything. So I'm going to give you guys a guide on how to do this, but just kind of give you the short version. You can actually call a collection agency and just buy some debt. So if somebody, basically what happens is, let's say, for example, somebody has a credit card with Capital One. They had $20,000 credit card. They got charged off, whatever the case is, right? Well, now the Capital One would charge it off or sell that debt to a collection agency, and now that collection agency is the legal owner of that debt. Okay, and so what that collection agency does is they try to contact that person to get the card paid off, right? And they offer them a settlement. Well, you can actually do the same thing as a collection agency. You can actually call up a collection agency and say, hey, I want to buy some debt from you. What do you have? Here's my budget, etc., etc. and then you become the legal owner of that debt. Why is it that you want to buy some debt? Because you can actually, once you pay off, once you pay off the collection agency for that debt, it pretty much becomes as paid. So now you have a line of credit that you can buy from a collection agency and get a report to your credit report, and you can buy this on pennies on the dollar. So I'm gonna show you, like I said, I'm gonna show you guys a guide on how to do this. And the other type of trade line that you can do is like a hack type of trade line. So let's say like an Open Sky is a secured credit card where you actually have to deposit money to open a line of credit on your name. And so the way this works is, if you have some money that you can use for this, for example, let's say you have $3,000 to just use, and you don't really need to use it right away. You kind of have it in the savings account, where you can actually open up a secured credit card, put those $3,000 in that secured credit card, right? Once that line is created and reports to your credit, and then you go and do what you have to do, then you want to cancel that credit card, and then that money is going to be refunded back to you. So technically you didn't use any money for a line of credit. You just kind of beat the system and you put money into a credit card, wait for it to report. Once it reports, then you withdraw your money and cancel the transaction. So that's a little hack that you can do with other types of trade lines. And then I'm going to kind of show you guys in the next video on the little hack on the rent reporters. And I'm also going to give you the collection agency method down below.